Hey guys, this is Frankie, Simply Imaginary People, and we're back with the next part. So, as you can see while you're away, I fixed some things, and I linked in the previous part under the Tumblr post a lot of tutorials on how to fix some issues in case you have black dots or black holes. What you can see I fixed is I fixed the normals on the buttons, and all these little fixes I can write tutorials, or they already have tutorials, so I'm not gonna show them in this video. I also went ahead and fixed my poly count. So here you can see I now have 28,000, so I am under the 30,000 and I'm still under the 9,000, 8,500 vert count and still under the 60 bone count, so I'm good. So what we're going to do now is we're going to fix bones. So as we saw in here, each vert has a color. Now sometimes these colors don't go quite correctly and you can have pretty big issues, especially under the arms. It really depends on how good your reference mesh is that you use. So what we're going to do is, to test this, is we're going to go to Tools, Load Animation. And when it loads, we're just going to write in extinguish. Always takes a while. We're just going to scroll down and we're just going to pick the first normal, extinguish. Load, close. What you're just going to do is down here, you're just going to play it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to look for any weird stretching. So especially around here. And under here, we're also going to look for any clipping. So here, this black you can see is clipping. Sometimes you'll see clipping in the front, you'll see it around here. Hands are an annoying thing anyway. Here you can see the neck clipping with the hood here. But I don't have any problems under the arm, so let me just really quickly, also neck seams, always happens with kids' clothes, don't ask me why. So I'm just really quickly going to show you by assigning it with the basic EA body, or with something, just how wrong something could go. I'm not quite sure if I'll get it to work. Usually it doesn't go wrong when you want it to go wrong, but I'll try. Just going to call this one toot. Now I'm just going to import toot instead. Now, yes, seems to like my mesh, which is annoying when you're trying to show how wrong it can go. This, okay, so I don't know how well you can see it, but you can see there's this little spiky bit here. What's literally happening is you can see it stretching here. Let's see if I can find a better angle. Yeah, here. This spiky bit is literally a bone on the top that is assigned to arm. So this part of the coat is moving with the arm, you can see, instead of moving with the body. And if I show you it here, so we're going to go to this arm part, and what we're going to do is we're going to zoom in here. And what you can see is, perfect example here, this is green, but you can see that the rest of it is actually pink. So the problem is that this part is moving with the arm. This is just generally reference meshes that don't fit very well, or EA reference meshes, or ones that just haven't been fixed. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and fix this. I'm just going to show you this real quick. There's a written tutorial on this as well, so in case you get stuck. We're going to turn off the vert colors because I can't see, and we're going to select a correct vert. So this one is pink, this is the correct color. And we're going to do that by pressing Alt on our keyboard and then just clicking the vert. And we're going to press Show. So you can see it's assigned to spine, clavicle, and spine. Now what we're going to do is we're going to click, we can always put that back on, this one, this is the green one, and we're going to press Alt and we're going to click that one. And we still have this setting here, and we're just going to press Assign. Now if I put the colors back on, you can see it's gone pink. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select that one. And with Shift and Alt, you can also select this one. So these two are also green, and just compress Assign. And I'm going to assign them the right color. And as you can see, if I turn it under the arm, it's just more and more issues. And so I'm just going to Alt select these. These ones are green, assign, and now they're pink. Also, these ones don't really fit into the color scheme. So show the correct one, and I'm going to click the incorrect one. I'm just going to press assign. Perfect. Again, this one's wrong, so I'm just going to get generally the one that's closest to it. Press show. That one's the correct one. Highlight the incorrect one. And press assign. Sometimes you've got to be careful. You sometimes select through the body and select something somewhere else. So just make sure you look around once you're done. Make sure it looks okay. Obviously the other side of the arm also has issues, but you just have to go around and fix it. And sometimes this takes ages to do. If you don't have experience, then sometimes you don't know. But now I'm just going to export that again, and I'll show you. If I now import it, no, yes, and play it to that part, you can see it no longer sticks out here. It looks fine. And that's pretty much just how you fix bone issues. So I'm going to go back to my correct one and not one. This one has a better reference. What you'll also see is again the seam. And I'm going to play it through, and we're going to find a small clipping. So this neck clipping. Right. So we're going to go into Milkshape again and import the correct one. Right. So the neck is clipping round about here-ish, I'm guessing. So what you can see is if you zoom through it really slowly, the EA body is underneath it, and because the EA body has the verts a lot further apart, sometimes the gradient doesn't work as nicely. So what you can either do is, let's see if I can find it. Sometimes it's really hard to find the one vert that's causing the problem. So this is like relatively close to the shoulder. Guessing like here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this joint, show it, and I'm going to go through to, oh wait, see sometimes you select through already. Show this one. Yeah, and I'm going to assign it to this EA vert underneath, and then I'm just going to export it and import this again to test it. Drag the animation back to that point. Voila. No more hole. Oh, there it is. So, seems I hit the wrong one. Okay, so we go back to here. Draw vert colors, and we just check. Literally what you're looking for is that the gradient on the top layer is different to the one underneath. So here it's slightly different. See, this is more yellow and that is more green. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this one, show. I'm going to go through it. I'm just going to assign it to whatever I have down here. And sometimes this is just a total guessing game and trying to fix it. But that seemed to have been the correct one. I no longer have the little clipping issue. There we go. This mesh actually turned out pretty well, but one thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go to Project at the front, and where it says Bottoms, I'm going to click here and click these three dots. And a selection of pants will come up. I'm just going to pick any old ones, because what you want to do is when this sim bends forwards like its knees, you want to make sure that the coat doesn't clip with the pants. This is something that often happens. If you did the one part correctly, then it shouldn't, and as you can see, it doesn't. So I don't really have any problems except this black hole now. Let's see if this is a clipping issue. You can see here, if it's black, what it literally means is that the second layer, so the inner layer, is clipping through the top layer. So I'm going to check out where that is. Somewhere around here. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing. I am going to guess where it is. Show. I'm going to go through and make sure I can see the inner layer, which is also already selected, and just press assign. Usually if it's the layers clipping through each other, then you only have to select the outside one and you're already selecting the inside one, and then you just go to show assign, because then it will just make sure that they're both exactly the same bones. Just do it again, show assign. Let's see if that fixed it. First meshes I did, I spent about, I don't know, say 70 hours fixing bones, and I had 70 versions of it. Now you can see I've already fixed it, I've got the training. Right, so now that this clipping, hand clipping and around the wrist clipping we'll ignore for the minute, because that'll be in the next part, or we can just do it now. Right, so two things that usually screw up are hands and neck seams. So hands, sometimes they look really wobbly here. You'll see in some of the written tutorials, and this neck seam. So we are just going to fix the hand and neck seam. So to fix the hand and neck seams, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to Model, Select, and we're just going to select the hands, go to Joints and press Clear. You need to do this right at the end, once you finish fixing all the bones. Press Clear. Right, that's the first part of fixing the hands. Now we're going to turn joints off, and what we're going to do now to fix the neck seam is we're going to go to File, Import, TSRW Object, and we're going to import the naked child top, and you can just export this from TSR. So you'll see the naked child top with all its morphs. So it has special, fit, thin, fat, and base. All we need is base, so I'm just going to delete all these. Now what you need to do is you need to make sure that this EA body is at the top, so I'm going to move it up. And to check this, I'm going to hide this and make sure it's hiding the code, which it is. So now I'm going to zoom in on my sideways window. I find this easiest. And all I'm going to do is select all the next verts. So just by pressing Shift, I can just select all of them. Make sure in my 3D window that all of them are selected, and they are. This also fixes waist seam. So if you have like a top that doesn't quite go all the way past the EA waist, then you'll probably need to fix the waist. And if you have trousers that don't cover the ankles, you're probably going to need to fix the ankles, and with trousers also fix the waistline. And all we're going to do is we're going to go to Edit, Select Invert, so it selects everything but those neck verts, and then we're going to go to Edit, Hide Selection. That means we can't select those. And on here we're going to go to Projection Top, and we're also going to go to Wireframe. I'm just going to zoom in. Now, if you follow the written tutorial for this, it'll show you how to get the plugins you need for this and how to make the shortcuts. But literally what we're going to do is we're going to copy the normal and the location from the EA neck, which doesn't have a seam, to R1. So just say that it looks identical. And if you want to know how to set this up, just read the written tutorial. So what we're going to do is we're going to select each group by making a box, and we're just going to press N, and then we're going to press V, because these are my shortcuts. So if you see, what I did was Unimix Vertex data merge. That's shortcutted with V, and N is the normal data merge. So it's just copying all the detail from the EA1 to RMesh. I'm just going to go around, and I'm going to press N and V for each of these verts. Make sure you do each one. If you feel like you've missed one, just do it again. And again, you need to do this at the end, because every time you fix some bones, you're going to get neck seams again, and you're going to get wonky fingers and weird wrists again. What you're going to do then, when you're done, is just delete the top group base, which was the EA body, and we're going to go to File, Export TSRW, Puff, and I'm going to call it Puff B2. If you're new at bones, I would advise having lots of versions of it, so that in case you tried to fix a bone and it went wrong, that you can go back to an old version. And now I'm going to import it into here. Puff B2, no, yes. Yep, you'll see the hands are screwed, but I just wanted to say that I no longer have the neck seam. I have this neck line, which actually doesn't show in game, so that's fine. And to fix the hands, all I'm going to use is I'm going to get the one that I just exported, so Puff B2, and for my reference mesh I'm going to use the nude top of the child, which has normal hands. And I'm going to replace only empty bone assignments. Do assignments and save it over Puff B2, and now when I import that, I have normal hands and no seam line, and when I play it, you'll see that the wrists don't clip as much anymore. And that is literally how to fix some bones and seams. I'm going to tell you that fixing bones, literally, it can take absolutely ages, but it's really worth it, because you know those pictures where a sim has the hand, the arm over the head, and you've got this big spike of clothing somewhere? Yeah, it avoids that, and it just looks a lot more realistic and neater, as you can see. Right, so that's the end of this part.